Hello everyone, my name is Hecthor Doomhammer. Welcome to a quick little update video. Well, it's not going to be quick, it's not going to be little, but still an update video. So, last time on the YouTube videos, we were in the process of constructing this area, the second medium security area, which originally was supposed to become a minimum security area, only because this would end up being a mixed sec. This of course would be minimum, and down here would be minimum as well. However, I first want to discuss change in how I'm going to be approaching the streams and videos. For the construction phase of this entire facility, I will still stream it. Not a lot will happen in terms of the actual management of the prison, because as you can see, I currently only have 118 prisoners left, and I'm gonna let it bleed out until I hopefully have nobody left anymore. Also, Mr. Alexander here. Minimum security. I just want to have minimum security, because I've set the rest to staff only. So, as I said, construction will be stream only, because now that I'm letting the prison bleed out, and I might actually edit the save in between in such a way that I won't have any more prisoners, or that all prisoners are scheduled for immediate release. I want to focus more on construction rather than running the prison, because how I'm going to be running the prison is going to change dramatically. The original plan, of course, was to have minimum, mix, medium, maximum. Also, as you can see, I have already bought the plots of land on the left side of the road, just so that I know what I have to work with. And yeah, but I've been talking to a friend of mine about this game, about this playthrough, and he suggested a couple of changes, and having thought about it, I'm going to go through with them, with the changes that he suggested. The original plan was you come in, be it minimum security, medium, or maximum security. You will go into the low graded cells, and then you'll have to work your way up until you reach the maximum, the mixed security area, where everything is hunky dory. However, we're going to be starting out with the maximum security area. Currently, I only have this maximum security area complete, and I'm currently in the process of cloning it up here. And the reason why I'm going to change it up, where construction is only stream only, at least, well, not this part, but definitely the last two parts, this one and that one, because I've completed the construction of this off screen. You know, once I realized, like, I'm cloning, it's just a matter of waiting and then managing the prison at the same time, and just waiting until this is done. It's just boring, you know. The construction, it's also the same reason why I decided to go with the post commentary sped up stream into a single video rather than 9 separate videos of this section. Not having prisoners makes this game kind of boring. I understand that, but I'm gonna have to work with it, because it's just the way that I want to do things from now on. So what I'm gonna change is that the outer sections, this one, that one, and this one, currently in construction, are gonna be maximum security only prisons. And I'm gonna be taking in maximum security only prisoners. And of course, once this area is complete on the other side of the road, that's the supermax death row, criminally insane in protective custody, but for now that is not important yet. Currently I only have minimum security prisoners, so that's not important yet either. The prison, what used to be in the game already, what still is in the game, is that the more days that a prisoner does not misbehave, the higher quality cells they are entitled to. Currently I've turned that option off, which you can do in, I do believe, policy? Yeah, down here, use cell quality ratings. That's currently turned off, but once I finished everything on the left side, I'm going to turn that on again. And then prisoners will start coming in these cells. Up here, this entire block and that entire block is made up of the familiar slum walls. I've used them, of course, in the previous prison that I built, but down here I've got the derelict walls, and I did that because I just wanted to use all of the different building materials that I could. So you come in here at the reception. Of course, on top you will have the same, and I think that I will only have those two as receptions and not a reception in this area or that area. So you come in either here in the south or all the way up here in the north, which I will eventually have built. But you come in, you get strip searched, and you get thrown into the prison with the quality cell of 0. 3 wide, or 3 long, 1 wide, 3 by 1 makes less than 6 squares. Then the large window for an added point, but the foam bed and surrounded by depressing walls for -2 points. Basically, these cells are -1, not 0, but that's okay. I put the window in just to showcase that there is a difference in the large window and the regular windows, and I'll show the regular windows later down the line. You have a minus point for having no windows in your cells. So if I didn't throw in these windows, it would basically be a -3, because it would take away the point of the large window, and it would also add the -1 point of the no windows. So you would have the sadly I can't really show. I need to point it out, but you can't see that. You've got the foam bed, you've got the surrounded by depressing walls, and then also the no windows would be -3. Now if I were to add a PA system in this, it would be a -4, which is, I believe, the lowest you can get, because you can't do a foam mattress and an old bed in a regular cell, because it wouldn't count as a proper cell anymore. Also, the size would be off. Never mind. But anyway, the windows are facing inwards, not outwards, so that it would not add the 2 points of the outside or the outdoor window. You behave well for a day, and then you get transported over to the grade 1 cells. Now you have a bookshelf, you have a soft pillow, and instead of the foam mattress you have an old bed, which is basically just like a steel frame mounted with chains to the wall. But at least you have a soft pillow and a bookcase. Also, you have one more square. This is a 2x2 for a total of 4 squares. Still below 6, so still not that point. Once again, the large windows facing your neighbors to give that 1 point and nothing more. Still the old bed, -1. Still the surrounded by depressing walls, -1. Same, of course, over here. Slum walls are depressing as well, so that's that. I'm already off track. You come in, you have the awful overgrown walls on the outside. Well, you have the decaying walls on the inside. Now I had a place where I could show the proper decaying wall, because this is also decaying wall. Yeah, here you can see it. Just like the plaster on the wall is starting to fall off, or like the paint is starting to fall off. It's just awful. For the flooring in here, I've chosen the concrete tiles, and the staff areas in this section will all have bamboo flooring. It was something that I hadn't used yet, and I wanted to throw it in, so that's why I went with that. The main hubs, the low-class cells, will not have showers in their cells, so I've built shower blocks with the rusty walls and the iron flooring. Now the benches serve as if you're done showering, but it's not the end of the shower time yet, or if it's not your turn yet for the shower, you can sit down. The yards. This is the fun part. The yards, the common rooms, the gymnasiums, and the canteens are all 3 out of 10. The PA system takes away a point, and the mud flooring also takes away 1 point, at least if it's over 50%. Now I have well over 50%. And you may also notice that I'm not using the running track for the yard, but this is just your regular paving stone. So that it would take away that one, or it wouldn't add the 1 point for the running track 12 tiles, because I do believe that this alone would be enough for the running track for that point. Now it has a punching bag or two, it has a couple of phones, it has a couple of weight benches, 2 dumbbell racks, the PA system, the bleachers, the tire apparatus, and tire stacks. I don't know the function of the tire stacks, but they exist, so I throw them in the yard. Because apparently it is advisable to throw them in the yard. And with all of that, the size as well, it's not 200 squares. It doesn't have the 12 squares of the running track. I could have, if I cut this yard in half, or even worse, could have taken away a point for the size. But since I have a lot of people that need to make use of these yards, this size was good enough. Originally I made this entire thing the yard. I didn't have the security in the middle, but then I was like, I still need security officers. Let's just throw them in the middle of the yard. Sure. Also security officers, bamboo floors with rusty walls. And this was a light, I had to manually put in the lights. Also the yards will house the water boilers. And fun fact, the cells don't have hot water. These cell blocks aren't heated at all. So just to make it even more miserable. Of course the common rooms and the offices and all of the staff areas and the work areas do have heating, but just the cells themselves do not. Except for this. But that'll be later. Yeah. So just awful yards, awful common rooms, awful gymnasiums, 3 out of 10. I didn't put in any computer stations. I could have thrown in 3 computer stations and it would still not add the 2 points. They don't have a phone booth because they've got phone booths in the yards. No chess table, no radio, no arcade cabinet, no snack machine, but they do have a CCTV camera in there, which will take away 1 point. Despite the fact that I have a table tennis, a table football and a pool table, you should say that could be 3 points, but it still counts as only 1. So they do have a TV or 2 TVs. No matter how many TVs you throw into a common room, it's still just the 1 point. And the stools, just to make it slightly less comfortable to watch TV. We over here have the area that is supposed to be for the Alcoholics Anonymous, with of course the psychologist office, also bamboo flooring, with the derelict walls and the slum walls up here. The gymnasiums, also 3 out of 10, obviously. They have not enough treadmills, they have not enough weight benches, they have not enough gym mats to get the points, they don't have a fan, they don't have a water cooler, and they don't have the outdoor windows. And because they don't have any windows whatsoever, it does take away 1 extra point. But they have 2 boxing rings and a PA system per gymnasium. Now I have gone overboard a little bit. 8 common rooms, 4 yards, 4 gymnasiums. The reason for this is that I expect the majority of the gang activity to be present in maximum security. Because gang members, only gang members can go to medium security, but not minimum security. And only gang lieutenants can go from supermax to maximum. But gang leaders, if they misbehave, they will be thrown into supermax, and they will never be able to leave supermax. So that's going to be something for later down the line once I finish construction of this area, and I'll get to the whole punishing thing later down the line as well. So I'm using the concrete tiles again for the common rooms, and I'm using the cargo flooring for the gymnasiums. Then we have 2 infirmaries and 2 morgues, and I like the look of this because it kind of makes me think of the old school 1920s to 1950s, 60 hospitals and insane asylums. These are limestone floors, just because it looks nice. So 2 shower blocks. This alone is enough to house 128 inmates, and I have 2 of those blocks. So these 2 blocks, 256 prisoners. Because as you can see, in the last episode, I didn't even break the 408, because the 408 would be this block, this, and this. That will be 408. And then this entire block has over 300 capacity. So you've got your cells 0, your cells 1, and then over here in the middle, I'm using the so-called max sec red walls, because these are the higher graded cells. And while the cell blocks over here are using the metal tiles, these are using the grate tiles. So that's a little difference in there. The outer walls, the outer cells here, if I can find the proper thing, thank you. Quality 2. So they have the room size of 6 squares, they have a shower head, they have a bookshelf and a stool. But since they are still using the old bed, and as you can see, has PA system in the cell block. You'll have to look for them, but they are in the back here. And on top, they are in the back here. So that will affect this entire block of 12 cells, this entire block of 12 cells, but not these, not these, not those. This one, that one. So that is pretty much this. And I wanted to just mess around a little bit with what objects am I going to throw into the cells to give them the different gradings. So I've taken away the bookshelves in the grade 3 cells, of which I only have a few. But once I start working on the backside over there, I'm going to have more 2 cells and 3 cells, and also some 4 cells, and maybe even some 5 cells. Because originally I did want to have a couple of cells, quality 5. And originally, before I decided to make these solitary cells, these were going to be my 5 quality 5 cells for this area. But I decided against that because I was running into some issues with solitary while planning this out, and I eventually fixed that issue. But I realized that since the capacity of this place was going to get so incredibly high, especially since I also had this originally as cells, I thought, remove the cells here, just throw in a lot of solitary. And as you can see, I have quite a lot. Also, up here, and naturally up there, down here, and down here, as well as on the other side, I have some extra solitary, just as a little bit of a buffer. So the grade 2 cells, as you can see, like I said, 6 squares, a shower head, a bookshelf, a chair or stool. They have a stool, they won't get a chair at all. And then an old bed to take away a point, and the PA system to take away a point, results in a 2. Now this is where I messed around with, oh, wait a sec, these don't have the windows. Oh, okay, but these do. Okay, so I'm gonna fix this later down the line. This happened during cloning, that something went wrong. As you can see, these are now quality -3 instead of -1, because I've taken away the window in here to remove the 1 point of the large window, and they have a -1 point for having no windows. And like I said, I'm gonna fix that right away. When it doesn't matter at all, but I do want to have the windows in here, just because it has to be equal. Because it doesn't matter if a prisoner, if a cell is 0 or actual -3, that doesn't matter as long as it registers as a 0. If a prisoner is entitled to a cell quality of 0, you will get thrown into the cells. Doesn't matter if they, like I said, have -3, -4 if possible, or an actual 0, then it's just going to be like that. So these cells do have windows. just to make sure that these have windows. Yes. And these, some of them have windows, not all of them. Nope, not there, but there. So, okay. That should sort that out. Just the last final check over here. This one doesn't have a window, that one doesn't have a window here. Yeah, there were some issues with cloning. So I now have to add these manually again. No problem, no problem. Oh, there and there, and this is all correct. Okay, so I've also shown you now that having no windows in will take away a point at all. So going back to these room qualities, I've given these a pretty bird. They do have a shower head, of course, because I didn't have enough shower capacity for these two blocks as well. So I gave these two blocks shower heads in their cells to get them away from the nastier prisoners. So these have shower heads, a pet bird, but no bookshelf, no stool or chair or whatnot, but they are at least 9 squares in size, and they have the window, the smaller window. So the point of no windows is taken away, but they are still under the influence of the PA system. That would make it a 3. So if I remove the PA system, this would be a 4 cell, and this would be a 3 cell. Also, these have normal beds, not old beds, not foam mattresses. These are just regular normal beds. Then we have the quality 4. As you can see, they have a punch bag, they have a normal bed, and they have canvas and paints. They also have a size of 9 at least, and a shower head, and that would make a quality 4. Now I'm gonna just mess around with this area and also here, just putting some stuff in one type of cell and putting some other stuff in another type of cell, just messing around, trying to get perfect grading, but a lot of variety. And it really doesn't matter where prisoners get thrown in, what they're entitled to, as long as they're entitled to the proper cell, that they get thrown in those cells. It shouldn't matter what they have in them, as long as they meet the requirements for the quality cells that they have. So, like I said, better walls also takes away a -1 point, whereas the outer cells are just the alpha cells. Now in here, I really like the look of this. We have the overgrown walls, also on the inside, with the limestone flooring. For the mailrooms, the shops, and the holding cell. They have 2 mailrooms, 2 shops, and 1 holding cell. Maximum security, which this area will be, the back area will be, and naturally the very top area will be, which currently is under construction, under cloning. They will not have the classrooms, they will not have the workshops, they will not have the library. And I believe that was it. Just making sure. Because they have the chapel right here. They have infirmary and morgue. No classrooms. And they have the laundries right here. And they have the cleaning cupboards. And they will be allowed to work in the kitchen. Yeah, that's about it. So yeah, that is that area, just a little nicer, or a little nastier, a little nicer, a little nastier. The canteens, and for that I need to quickly get this done. That's in just a moment. Let the game run a little while, a few seconds. Logistics, clickety. Okay. So. Maximum security, prisoners will have the medium quality and medium variety meals. So they will not have the points, and each of those is worth 2 points. But they do have everything else except the plants. And as you can see, I have CCTV cameras in them, 1 and 2, so that takes away a point. Creating a grade 3 canteen, also no windows, just to make it a little bit more miserable. Once again, overgrown walls on the outside, decaying walls on the inside. Also, all of the staff areas. I felt that if if you're working here, then you have to start out on the awful place as well, and then you get promoted into the nicer places as time goes on. So you'll basically, as a guard or as an employee, you'll get promoted along with the prisoners to the nicer parts. Just some silly lore that I just came up with. Common rooms and gymnasiums also 3 out of 10. Yards 3 out of 10. With the mud and no running track. And not enough stuff to get the points, but still some of the stuff present. No outdoor windows. A CCTV camera in the common rooms, as I mentioned, just to make it a little worse. Canteens down here also. Over here we have a little staff room with power stations, because I just didn't have enough power generation for this entire block, which was expected. This was the last minute edition, and I had to do some rerouting of the power cables, but eventually I got it to work. And then lastly, behind here we have the staff room. Very nice staff room when it comes to interior. Also bamboo flooring, overgrown walls on the outside, and on the inside the decaying walls. But they have their own little staff area toilet with 2 objects that I haven't been using yet. The hand dryer and the bathroom sink. And I've also given them a painting and another painting, but also the large TV. As you can see, it has a very large field where you can use it. So I could have moved the entire seating area back 3 rows and it would still reach it. But I knew that I wouldn't have that much staff working here. I do have 2 very small staff rooms over here, with one serving as a canteen, but I've designated it as a staff room. And this is just a little staff room for the northern part. So in here we only have 4 staff rooms, sadly. But yeah, the staff will just have to work with it. We have the kennel, we have another armory, realizing that the kennels and armories in the center here were nowhere near enough. I just decided that maximum security will have their own kennel and their own armory, as well as no phone taps in here, because the phone taps are in the security offices. But cameras and camera monitors and door control systems for this entire section. And that will conclude my tour of the maximum security area for what I have done right now. Now the idea that I have is that I'm only going to take in maximum security prisoners once I am done with this entire section of the map. Prisoners will get thrown into 0, will have to behave well in order to be eligible to get into 1, and then into 2, into the 3, into the 4. And on day 5, as I can show you in here, or on day 7, if they have no staff assaults, no murders, no escape attempts, no dangerous contraband, and as long as they are a regular gang member or no affiliation with gangs, you have passed 1 program, which could be spiritual guidance, or could be Alcoholics Anonymous, or could be pharmaceutical treatment to drug addiction, or behavioral therapy. Then you're eligible to move up to minimum security. Now minimum security hasn't really changed much, except that the walls that I used for this little thing here used to be white tiled walls just like this, but since I wanted to use all of the types of building materials, I've changed these to the regular white walls. Now you've got 2 different types of white walls. The wall white, which is probably, in my guess, the same as the wall MaxSec, MedSec and MinSec, but for also the yellow wall. But this would be for the criminally insane. Also, since I'm talking about the building materials, something that I did forget. The yards are not surrounded by the barred walls, but by the bamboo fence and bamboo doors. Just to use that little bit of variety in building materials. And I really like the look of the showers. Just like, I hope you brought your you got your tetanus shots. Rusty flooring. Come on, don't crash on me. Game, thank you. The game has started to crash a lot because I'm demanding so much of the game, and it's not meant to handle this, sadly. But oh well. Anyway, rusty walls with iron flooring just to make it absolutely disgusting. Also, underneath the doors are the only places where I have the drains for the shower blocks, so that it's gonna get wet in here. It's gonna get even more rusty and awful. Just to be ugh. It looks disgusting, but also very awesome. Also, you may notice that this place isn't symmetrical. And that's on purpose, because once this area is done, the entire facility is going to be symmetrical once again. So, Minsec, the only things that I changed, I've thrown in some warden statues in the yards, or at the entrance of the yards, because I didn't do that yet. Also, these guys don't have that. Oh yeah. Also, last thing. This is the last time that I'll walk you through the backsack area. The paths are made up of grass and stones, so they have a little bit of green in there, but it's still awful as heck. So, as I said, Medsec really hasn't changed much, except the walls here. And you may notice that I have removed all of the carpenter stables in the workshop in here. And I did that for a reason. In policy, in privilege, you can see that medium security and minimum security are exactly the same. Maximum security has no education, also because they don't have a right to do that, but also because I didn't even put in any option for proper education. Now, I don't know if spiritual guidance serves as education, but I hope so. I kind of hope that it serves as well-being, because I think it should. Yeah, they will, but they won't work. Okay. Supermax is something later down the line. So I've removed the carpentry apprenticeship program from the workshops of medium security, and I already forgot to add in the general education for the classrooms in medium security, but now I've decided to not go with that at all. So that for the higher education, you need to be minimum security. Absolutely need to be. Absolute must. So, what I wanted to showcase and why I made currently all of this is staff area, and why I made this medium security for just a moment, is that I wanted to showcase that I have decided to decrease the value of the canteens, the classrooms, the common rooms, the yards, and the gymnasiums for medium security. They were 7 out of 10, but now they're 6 out of 10. So that it becomes even more worth it to go into the minimum security area once you get there. Currently, it's still kind of classified. The game hasn't caught up with that yet as a staff canteen, but once it's going to be a canteen, it should be 6 out of 10 in here as well. But medium security has got the high quality meals, quantity meals. That's something I'll get into just a moment. But the medium variety, so they only have the 2 extra points for the quality. And since I didn't throw in any windows or a water cooler, it's lacking 2 points, and that makes it a 6 out of 10. I think I've taken away 1 computer booth, so that it doesn't have the 2 points. And I think I've thrown in an arcade cabinet to add another point to make this a 6 out of 10. And here I have removed... Or, wait, did I not have... Oh, this doesn't even have treadmills. Okay, so no treadmills in here. If you want to run, you'll have to go either back to maximum security, or you have to get promoted to minimum security. So, no treadmills in here. Apparently I completely forgot that. But they do have the 6 weights benches. No, yes, thank you. They have the 4 gym mats. They have the punching bag. They have the boxing ring. They don't have a fan, but they do have the dumbbell racks. No outdoor windows. No windows, so that's still -1 point. And the water cooler. This makes it a 6 out of 10. Yards also 6 out of 10. I've removed the punching bag. I had 1 punching bag over here, and I've removed that. I've had 1 punching bag over here and removed that to make it a 6 out of 10, so that it becomes just that little bit more variable. Now, in terms of the cells, I didn't change anything. You still have your quality 5 cells in the back here, your quality 6 cells here, here, and here, quality 7 cells, quality 8 cells, quality 9 cells, and your quality 10 cells. Staff canteens, no plants, but at least a fan, so this is a 4. I could throw in a window to make it a 5, but it's a staff area, it doesn't matter. And like I said, these walls are different from these walls now. And that is it. That's all that I really have changed. Minimum security, what this will be, has also received, I believe, only 1 change. Because I wasn't using the wall minsec, the blue ones, just like I've changed the walls over here to regular white, I've changed these walls out here to the regular blue walls. These are still the classy blue striped walls, but just to make it different, I've changed it that way. And that is really all in terms of changes in here. Of course, I've had to add a lot more gravestones. A lot more gravestones. I've had a lot of death. Supermax and maximum security prisoners were just messing up a lot of stuff, and that just that brings me to my next point, my regrets. One of my major regrets is going on the jungle map. What I've done here, after I bought this plot of land, is I've changed the flooring from whatever it was to dirt, so that all of the trees would automatically be chopped down. It would save me, it has saved me a lot of time, because all of the previous sections, this one and that one, I would just use this mental object and then later we'll check it again. Oh, I missed a couple. Let's redesignate them all as being chopped down, and then do it again, do it again, do it again. But I kind of forgot that if you change the flooring, then it would also remove all of the trees. So that's what I've done here, and that's what I've done here, and it is what I will do here eventually. And I've set areas down here as a storage. I've set an area up here as storage, and then just manually sold all of the objects. It's a time saver, trust me. But yeah, the jungle map, especially with the way that I've changed my whole building style and my playing style for this particular prison, the jungle map was absolutely unnecessary. Because it just takes up a lot more time to get rid of all of the trees. The second regret is that I took in maximum security prisoners right off the bat. So, as I have shown already, I first built this area, and then I decided for one entire stream I would just play, bring in prisoners, and let the prison run itself. And I brought in maximum security prisoners, and I regret that. I shouldn't have done that. Shut up, phone. Because it just messed up a lot of stuff. Especially since I went with, let's just say, talking to my investors, IKEA. It's been decided that since I'm selling all of these trees, that the investors that I spoke of is IKEA. Now, some people may think it's the mafia, but it's IKEA. And they give me a lot of money if I ask it. Something that I also was annoyed by, and that is the last change that I made to minimum security, is the fact that prison labor in the forestry was constantly getting bugged. That it would constantly get removed, and I would have to redesignate it, and then a while later I would check it again and it was gone. And my belief is that because the trees will grow on the outer layer here as well, the outer cells here, that it would mess up the forestry area designation and therefore remove the entire prison labor for that. So in the hopes to remedy that, I've thrown in gravel as a walkway around. It's slow in terms of walking speed, but that doesn't matter. But I hope that with this, we're gonna have more of this, where it's not the outer, but one cell inwards of the forestry area. Once I start to redesignate it as forestry, and if not, then I guess that I won't use prison labor in the forestry at all, but just my regular staff would do that. So yeah, maximum security prisoners at the start was a mistake of mine, because I didn't have any proper areas for the supermax, and the way that I had set up the punishments eventually just made it so that I had a lot of supermax. Also, that I turned on prison grading. As you can see, I've now turned it off, because I had minimum security prisoners misbehave, then get sent over to this holding cell, which at the time was only for minimum and medium security prisoners, as well as this one over here. But they wouldn't be getting food, because the canteens for minimum medium security were only medium security, so that it would prevent the minimum security prisoners to get fed. Also, the fact that my original plan, of course, was medium, medium, maximum, maximum, minimum, minimum. I wanted to make sure, and this is thanks to the advice of a friend of mine, I wanted to make sure that the prisoners in minimum security would understand that if they mess up, if they misbehave, not only will they lose the right to their super high quality cell of 15 out of 15, I wanted them to make sure that they realize, like, oh, I fucked up and now I have to start all over again. So what I will do eventually, once I've bled this prison dry in terms of inmates, and once I finish the construction of this and that area, I will set it so that for escape, attack staff, and murder, for both minimum and medium, you go to supermax right away. If you dare to escape, you go to supermax. You dare to attack a staff, you go to supermax. You murder a prisoner or staff, you go to supermax. And for the rest, everything will be maximum security. So I expect, my hope is, that with the whole prison transfer thing now being a thing, with prisoners wanting to go to lower levels of security through the transfer, that I also counteract that by making sure that all of the incidents get punished with not just lockdown or solitary, but also maximum security. Now, I'm not quite sure whether or not, if since I have the punishments set differently, as you can see, solitary for everything in maximum and supermax, but also different times. But I have lockdown for some things in medium, and lockdown for a lot more things in minimum. I do hope that if a minimum security prisoner does destruction, that he still gets locked down for 3 hours, but in maximum security. So he will be set to 0, and then he will be, of course, if he destroys or attacks a prisoner, or he has weapons or tools or drugs or luxuries or whatnot, he not only gets sent to maximum security because he loses the right to his high quality cell. I'm hoping that the punishments would still count for those of a minimum security prisoner, but that's something that I'll need to see once it's time to get prisoners in again. So that, because otherwise this would become completely useless, because it would be this. Maximum security will keep it like this. Their punishments are harsher, but only escape attempt, attack staff, and murder will get you to supermax. And of course for this as well, and then this will be all of this eventually. So this is how the punishments are gonna look like. And this is purely to counteract this. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be making this entire area, which currently is completely cleared out, into another medium security only area. This, which originally was going to be this was originally going to be a mixed security, so that even maximum security prisoners and really well behaved supermax prisoners could get in here. But I'm no longer going to do that. This is going to become purely minimum security, so that the second layer going outward would become medium security, and the outer layer here, here, and here will become maximum security. So prisoners will come in as maximum security only, either here, here, or here. Then they'll have to behave. They'll get transferred over to here, here, or here. As long as they don't start murdering, escaping, or attacking my staff, otherwise they will get thrown onto this side. And if they really behave well enough, they'll get thrown into here. Unless, of course, they do start to do crazy stuff again, and then they'll just be brought back to here and have to start over. What I've also done, I did, of course, at the very start. No, I don't have to go in here, but in here, map settings. I've currently turned off Fog of War, but I've also turned off that inmates can turn criminally insane. Until I have finished this expansion on the right side of the road, I'm not gonna turn that on again. But only once I have completed this section, which will house Death Row, Supermax, Criminally Insane, and Protective Custody, I'm gonna turn on that inmates can become criminally insane, and I will not be taking in criminally insane inmates at all. I'll just let them become criminally insane by being in the alpha quality cells. And I think that the total capacity could go up as high as 4,000 in total. Because I am sure that I'll buy one expansion on this side, but I might buy 2 expansions on this side of the road. That remains to be seen. This side of the road, sorry. I'm used that my face would be over here from the earlier series. But I've moved it over here because it was obstructing the building material stuff and such in the rooms. So that's what. So yeah, that is a bit of an update. In terms of the streams, I will still stream the construction phases, not the planning phases, and not the clearing out phases of this. But I will stream the construction phases. So if you want to see that, well, by the time you see this particular video on July 6th, I expect to be done with this prison already, at least in terms of building. Because I might just continue this prison and just run the prison as a proper prison, just to showcase the prison transfer and also the punishment system, as well as becoming criminally insane and death row, because of course we gotta have our executions. Otherwise I couldn't call this prison complete. But I think that on July 6th, I will be done with the construction phase of this prison, and we might see a proper play of this prison already. So, like I said, on the stream, I will have done the construction, and once I'm done with this entire side of the road, I will make another update video, just like this one, where I'll just showcase like, okay, this is what I've done in terms of the different cell grading and building materials and whatnot. I've already set up all of the patrols on this side as well. Deployments, patrols. All of the patrols are in. All of the deployments are in. Currently everything is staff only. That will eventually change. And I think that I still need to set that as staff only. This. I cannot set this as staff only because this is one giant area right now. And because it's not secured yet, it's not staff only. But at least as long as the inside here and that is staff only, it's perfectly fine. So next time that you're gonna see this prison, I will probably have removed all of the prisoners. I might have deleted them. I might have shortened their sentence in such a way that they are released right away. And this side of the road will be done. And I guess that afterwards I might even decide to not stream a proper play of this prison, but construct this side of the road already. So there's going to be at least 2 more update videos like this, but depending on how I intend to do things, it may differ that I'm going to do some play in between, or I'm just going to run the prison, or just update and then update where suddenly this side of the road is completely done as well, and then we're gonna play the prison. Well, that remains to be seen. Anyway, enough rambling. I hope that you've enjoyed this. Gonna save really quick. If you enjoyed this, make sure to leave a thumbs up. Helps out a great deal. My name is Hecthor Doomhammer. I thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time.